What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RBL Weekly. It is week 18 of the 2024 season. We are kicking off the second half of the season. I am the Roast Battle League Commissioner, Pat Barker, joined as always by the host and creator of the Roast Battle, Brian Moses. Moses, how you doing?
Wait a minute, it's week 18?
Week 18.
So would that mean that there's 36 weeks in the season?
There's either 34 or 35.
Okay. Because 18-18, right? That's...
Right, I'm saying we're kicking off the second half.
Okay, cool.
So after 17 is the official halfway point. I got to see because it depends on what day the thing falls. We'll let you know. But it's either 34 or 35. I'm sure it won't matter until the last week when somebody is 3 points behind and I'm like, oh yeah, there's no other weeks, and then they're freaking out.
Well, this is fun, man. Yeah, it's been a fun 18 weeks. The All-Star game announcement was fun.
Yep.
A lot of those guys were hitting you up, a lot of hitting us up, and it's been a good month for the Roast Battle. Thank you guys for subscribing to the Patreon. Thanks for watching us here. Thanks for watching the Thursday shows on YouTube. And keep the comments coming. You know, all the outfit comments, all the we're terrible comments, all the we're retired comments. Keep them coming.
We're retired? What does that mean?
Some lady said that comedy's gotten so big that they got two retired guys doing the blow-by-blow.
I wish I was retired.
That's what I said.
Is that an option? As a comedian, you just kind of like, I don't know, there's no 401k. Like, I'm doing
we're
this
going
until
we're dead in 3 years. Yeah.
I guess keep the comments coming. I don't
read them.
I read them on this. Because you guys are smart. The other videos, I'm just like, I don't trust that.
Don't trust that. It's all. We had an episode drop and it was like, Tony. I don't even think Tony Hinchcliffe wanted it to come out because he was like a little inebriated. And I think he was fine with it afterwards because I talked to him, and then we put it out, and then he's only there for like one battle. Yeah, goes off right on whatever. Yeah, and then his fans in the comment section are just like, he's the best. Yeah. I'm like, I thought this was like a drunk performance by Tony. I didn't think it was his best performance, but his fans were like, he's the GOAT. He's God. Even drunk, he's saying the greatest shit ever. You're like, all right. I need that kind of fandom in my life.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. Show up high on heroin. Everybody's just like, this guy's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Fuck Eric Clapton. Moses.
We want to be Eric Clapton. That's what we're going for here, so help us make that happen. The All-Star Game and the Patreon, you touched on both of them. If you go to the Patreon right now, whether you are a paid member or a free member, even if you sign up, you just connect your Google account to it. As a free member right now, you can get in on our All-Star Pick'em pool. Shout out to Vinny Gazzara, Patreon user, who hit me up and he was like, hey, I put this thing together if people want to vote, bet on it. Basically, you pick the 5 battles, and then the tiebreaker is picking the All-Star Game MVP. And whoever gets the most correct predictions out of that, we're going to send you a cool little prize package and 3 free months of the Patreon.
Whoa.
So, it's going to be and if you're already an existing member of the Patreon, we'll figure it out. We'll reimburse you for the 3 months that you're going to be paying for. But either way, go there, fill it out. I'm looking at the results. They're all internal for right now, but they're picking some upsets out there.
Really?
There's a couple numbers that surprise me.
Okay, well, shout out Vinny G, our Italian guy. Where's he from? Jersey?
I think like North Carolina. Can you imagine being that aggressively Italian?
That's what I'm saying. With that
living
name,
in North Carolina? Yeah.
I don't know who this guy is personally, but that name is very aggressive.
This is basically the start of My Cousin Vinny. Remember when they're driving through like the Carolinas and the cops pull the guns on them because they stole a can of beans?
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
This is it. Okay.
This is it, yeah.
Marissa Tomei, Academy Award winner.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. So shout out to Vinny. And Vinny actually also joined us on the ranking committee this week.
Oh shit.
This was his week to hop in on the ranking committee. We have a great week of battles. I was really we got 12 of them, and without mentioning names, 11 I thought were actually really, really good, and one was one of the worst I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they submitted that one.
It was pretty fun. I mean, sometimes you only have one. Sometimes you got one battle and you're just like, it's better. It is better than submitting nothing.
You only get one shot.
Yeah.
For 35 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of time to make up ground. But battles 8 through 10 are now available on the Patreon for our main event and Hall of Fame tier level people. You can go check those out, and there were some good ones. But let's get into the battles this week that did make the countdown. As always, 7, 6, and 5 we do not watch here in the studio. We'll be back for more analysis on the top 4. The number 7 battle comes to us this week from a city that I called the most disappointing city of the first half. last week, talking about the expectations and what they did last year versus what they've been able to do this year. I'm talking about London, the defending international champion. They start off the second half by jumping onto the countdown. In the number 7 spot, I will say this is a battle that I think in some recent weeks we've had could have been 3 or 4. This is a quality battle. This is a pretty loaded week. It's a great week, but this features 2 household names from London. I'm talking about Luke Hall and Hugh Peacock. It's the number 7 battle this week. Here it is.
This is Luke. Luke is short for Luke. How fucking tiny he is.
And Hugh is short for huge motherfucking man tits. This is Hugh. Hugh's a massive rugby fan, but to be fair, he's a massive anything. He actually had to stop rugby because he was 1 concussion away from becoming the world's most ironic vegetable.
This is Luke. Luke is short for a human man.
Yep. Statistically, that's true.
Luke's ex-girlfriend managed to break his penis during sex. Can you imagine how shallow her vagina is?
I mean, yeah. Hugh works in construction to make up for the damage he keeps doing to the city of Tokyo.
Luke found out that his last girlfriend cheated on him when he was in hospital waiting for his penis cast. And his dad and best friend were by his side waiting for the same procedure.
She fucked them too, that's why. That is that joke. Hugh's an alcoholic. He'd go to rehab if there weren't so many damn steps.
Luke has short king energy. Think Napoleon, but less conquering and more being a cuckold. Okay, I assumed you knew a bit of history. Let's just rewind it, okay? Morons, everyone here. That's a great joke. Watch the movie even. Fine.
So Hugh comes from the Giant's Causeway, or as he calls it, his mother's vagina. Those places have a lot in common too, in that they're vast, rocky, and visited by millions every year.
Luke. That was good.
Thanks, man. We're having fun.
Oh shit, that's the same joke I told already.
Let me guess, I'm sure.
I am drunk. He is short. Okay, Luke was brought up religious. I can't see why he abandoned his faith though, because if I was short with a tiny brittle penis, I'd probably fucking have some questions for God as well.
Brittle penis, yeah, brittle penis. Hugh's 6'4". He could play in the NBA if he wasn't such a fat. You are genuinely huge though. Do you know the phrase, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day? Well, teach a man to fish and Hugh will eat that man.
Luke could play in the NBA also, except, oh, no, never mind.
Except I'm white. Cool, that's us.
Nope.
So there it was, the number 7 battle this week, Luke Hall versus Hugh Peacock. For Luke Hall, one of the under-the-radar stars of the Roast Battle League. He moves to 4-0 this season.
Wow.
Which is one of the better records in the world. And I think he went like 11-3 last year. I mean, this guy has a really, really good record. We haven't seen a ton of them here on the podcast, a few battles. But he's somebody to watch. London just announced the roster today for their July 23rd knockout tournament.
Nice.
Of course, Shalaka Karup is in there, Lee Hudson, Ken Grinnell. They're about to make a big push. And Luke Hall is one of the names in there, and I'm curious to see what he does.
We got Duffy Connors, Luke Hall, guys we haven't really seen on the program, but guys you hear about a lot, guys you see on the stats a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see more of Luke. Congratulations on your first appearance this season on the podcast. But get into it, Luke. 4-0.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you get in this second half MVP race because you've got some really good jokes. And Hugh Peacock, great name.
Really is. Very British. There's no more British name than Hugh Peacock. And that's the number 7 battle this week. And we're going to keep it moving right now with number 6. This is a city that has been on an incredible run recently. Unfortunately, they are stuck in the toughest division in the league. I'm talking about Denver. I'm talking about the America West division. Seems like every week, all 4 of the cities are from the America West are making it on here. This week, Denver takes the number 6 spot between 2 very interesting characters.
Oh.
The Denver champion, Evan Joe, who we have yet to see this season. We saw him a few times last year. This is a non-title match against Tyrie Dillard, who we were introduced to earlier this season. Tyrie Dillard, of course, does not have legs. To steal a Brian Moses euphemism, it's social handicap versus physical handicap. It's the number 6 battle this week. Evan Joe, Tyrie Dillard. Here it is.
Tyrie, you sickle cell Mucinex man. You look like your service animal is a giant slug with earrings.
This waste of legs is Evan Joe. Shut up, I haven't told the joke yet. Jesus. Evan Joe looks like what happens when Dracula bites a llama.
Wow, I'll be honest with you guys. It is an honor to be here with Lance Armstrong's cancer-ridden testicle. Tyrie, he's a lot more than a comedian you feel like you have to laugh at. He's also an actor. Yeah, he played a waterlogged zombie in an episode of The Crip Walking Dead.
Yeah. Evan Joe looks like Tarzan finally came to civilization and found whippets.
Come on, dude, that is cap. That's cap. Handicap. Okay. And God, with the size of your head, you couldn't remember your jokes? That's crazy. Tyrie, you Kentucky fried cripple. I'm shocked you look as unhealthy as you do, considering the fact you're a fruit and a vegetable. Bruh.
Evan Joe looks like transitioned Orphan Annie. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm the one that was born in the wrong body.
Yeah, you're 6 foot and can't fucking dunk. You were.
Yeah, I can dunk. You were the basketball.
Boom shakalaka! Evan Joe isn't white. He's just an albino Ethiopian.
Okay. And Tyrie's not black. He's the bottom piece of a snowman in Flint, Michigan. So.
Comedy, Evan Joe spends most of his time adventuring in children's books. You might have heard of him. Harry Potter Smokes the Sorcerer's Crack Rock. All right.
Thank you, George Floyd. I'll take a second. That one will take a second. I mean, honestly, you guys, what can I even say about Tyrie that hasn't already been tweeted by a bus driver? But listen, Listen, contrary to popular belief, Tyrie actually has legs. He's just not tall enough to get him down from that power line.
That's funny. That's funny. Fuck you, Evan Joe. Evan Joe looks like Simba from The Lion King if the movie was about disappointing your mom. Oh, fuck you guys.
So there it was, the number 6 battle this week, Evan Joe versus Tyrie Dillard. We didn't watch it here in the studio, but speak really quickly on these two guys, if you don't mind, in terms of two of the better characters I feel like we have in the league.
Evan doesn't really consider himself a character, which is like, I like him. He's got this Evan Warner thing about him, even though he's as charismatic as Evan Warner, but maybe not as like subtle as Evan is. You know, Evan's a little more deadpan and dry.
Yeah.
To where Evan is very in your face, will do act outs, great goofy jokes. Kind of a killer too. Like wants to come at you a little bit, wants to compete with you. You know, will kind of egg you on to like what else you got, kind of a thing. So I really do love him, and obviously, you know, he's hosted out there, he's judged out in Denver. He's a champion out there. Obviously, Jeff Stonick is now. And Tyrie has no legs and is black. Good luck.
One of my favorite things from that battle that stuck with me was Tyrie had some joke where he called Evan trans, and Evan's rebuttal was, "Oh yeah, I'm the one trapped in the wrong body," which is outstanding. I also had somebody hit me up on the ranking committee and say we need to do Tyrie Dillard versus Chris Crespo.
Wow.
So
yeah,
it's on my radar now.
I mean, yeah, we're just keep going for all right. 1800 circus freak battles. That's what you guys want.
They're both very talented writers as well.
Totally, yeah.
It's not. They're.
But
very
they can
funny.
battle able-bodied people too, you guys. They don't just have to keep going into a separate section of the Special Olympics roast battles. They can battle anybody.
Let us know in the comments. Do you want to see him battle able-bodied people, or do you want the guy with no legs to battle the guy with no arms? It seems like a no-brainer to me, but you tell me. I don't know.
I like how you say social handicap versus physical handicap, even though Tyrie has both of them.
What's his social handicap?
He's black.
Oh. I thought that was referring to like some sort of like spectrum kind of thing.
He's on a color spectrum.
That's a good point. There's so many spectrums. I tend to forget how many there are. So yeah. Shout out to both of those guys. I love it. I love Denver. They pick up 2 points this week.
Oh man.
Yeah. You say that and I'll just keep it moving.
Love you, Tyrie. Love you, Tyrie.
Let's get to the Bay Area now. Sticking with the America West Division. Like I say, every week it is a dogfight between these 4 cities. And this week is no different. Now, the Bay Area pulled a little trickery for this one. This is the second time that they've done this season. They have all their shows in clumps for reasons I cannot begin to fathom. They don't go weekly. They'll have 4 shows in a month, but they all happen within 6 days of each other. So sometimes you get these weird situations where it's like, hey, we don't have any battles to submit. So they did this for the second time this season. I okayed it earlier. We might have to have a rules committee meeting in the offseason and talk about this. They take another show, a non-roast battle show, just a comedy show run by one of their friends, and they go, hey, can we do a roast battle at this show?
These are guerrilla roast battles?
Guerrilla roast battles.
Okay.
And they were like, will you sanction that as an official roast battle? And it's at a venue that they use and everything.
Right.
So I said, yeah. So they did it, and now they've done it again. And for the second time, they pick up points doing it. So listen, I love the ingenuity. I love the fact that they're like, we got to figure something out, and they're making it happen. But we might have to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, by any means necessary. Can't be a roast battle thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just, hey, can we do this? Because we had to submit to a podcast?
Because I did have, because there's going to be, now people are going to try to extend that, right? Because I did have Cleveland hit me up, and they're like, yo, we're doing a random like show in Pennsylvania. I was like, no, we can't. We got to draw a line.
I was going to say, I feel like Cleveland's going to do something like this because they do their battles like a moose lodge. So of course they're going to be like, hey, we're just doing it like my grandma's living room. Can we just submit this?
I would never notice the difference. If they didn't tell me, if Cleveland legitimately started shooting battles in a basement and they were like, this is our new venue, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks.
That tracks, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a roast battle from a non-roast battle show featuring 2 guys we've seen a whole bunch on this podcast. It is the president of the Bay Area division, Josh Means, going up against Dakota Fry. Here it is.
First off, Amy, thanks for letting us crash Dress to Kill to do this roast battle. Give it up for Amy. Yeah, I'm obviously underdressed to kill Josh because I'm not dressed like a heroin needle. No, seriously. Seriously, if you guys are feeling generous, we're raising money tonight. Josh is battling Ku Klux Klan anorexia.
Oh, this is fun. Up here battling Adam Sandler's wacky son. Me and Dakota are actually really good friends. He smiles every time he sees me because I look like a penny.
Lucky for Josh, his wife now is the manager of Punchline. Back in the day, if he wanted Stay Shine, he had to give the old promoter Ed Sheeran. I'm just kidding, Josh isn't gay. Yeah. No, he is. He gave him Carrot Top.
Yeah, my wife is the GM of Punchline. I'm sorry she makes you abide by the 2-drink minimum. He's supposed to control the weather, but why is it like your sex life? Cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Josh looks like the only leprechaun that's after your Lucky Charms. By Lucky Charms, I mean your catalytic converter. Josh, you look like you poke holes in your leprechaun. When Josh gets lucky, he gets charms and the woman gets AIDS.
Every time you talk, Kanye gets more followers. Dakota told me that he got raped by a retarded girl when he was delivering her a package. That's his story and he's sticking to it, Your Honor. He got raped by a girl with Downs and now ironically he can't get it up.
Josh is from Orangeville, which explains his hair and face. Josh is barely allowed to see his son, but his skin sees too much of the sun. Whether it's his baby mama or Mother Nature, he's always being cooked by mothers.
Talking about my baby mama when your wife is currently leaving you. Or as I like to call it, a cease marriage. Dakota, that's some fun jewelry. But it's more fun when I could pay 99 cents to see her grandma hide it in her pussy on that Only Ann's.
Josh's father and stepfather tragically died when he was young. I know, 2 dads. Gay!
All right, Jimpaloopa. Dakota told me he was part of a documentary for baby geniuses because he could speak full sentences at 9 months old. And I just know it was only to complain. Like, oh, my diaper's so itchy. I know, it's starting to get like Mort from Family Guy, and I don't want to disrespect your hero. All right.
You got more?
No, that's all. Yeah, I feel like Dakota should have went through those showers twice.
So that was the number 5 battle this week. Josh Means, Dakota Fry, coming to us from the Bay Area with an outstanding battle, ranked as high as 2nd on a couple of ballots. Josh does a great job running things up there, but also shout out to Dakota Fry. I want to take a second to talk about this. 2-5 this season. The record's not great. But of those 7 battles, this is the 4th one to make the list. Other than Max Sorich, nobody else, has more than 4. And he has accumulated now 16 total points, which puts him 5th in the league.
Wow.
Entertaining guy, entertaining battles, and one of those guys that you look at and you're like, the wins and losses, it really doesn't matter,
He's got a John Luna thing about him, right? He goes everywhere over the Bay Area, basically, or over they'll say California. He's just battling all over California.
Yeah.
Like Russell Crowe in his tugboat battling all around the world on South Park. Anyway, Dakota Fry.
What a
I
reference.
see him about 4. Yeah, we've seen him 4 times on this program. Every time is fun. I've seen him battle live a couple times this year. He is a formidable opponent who always shows up. Clearly, when you book him, you're going to be on this podcast. So I can see Dakota Fry kind of sneaking up and be like maybe in the season at number 3 in MVP voting or even in points.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely racking up the points for the Bay Area, keeping them in the race. So shout out to Dakota Fry and the Bay Area. Now, let's get into the battles we can watch. And boy, am I excited to get your gauge on this one.
I'm seeing it already.
Yeah. It's more of a thing you got to hear than see. It's a fun battle. There's a lot to unpack here. And when it's done, I will be deferring largely to you to get your opinion. I can't wait. It's the number 4 battle this week. It comes to us from Austin. 2 battlers making their 2024 RBL debuts. Colton Jones taking on Liz Splat. Here it is.
Yeah, you might have heard that Liz works at the mothership. You're going to need a bigger boat.
Colton looks like a thum-thum that ate too many dum-dums. Full of cum-cums.
Whiz, more like whiz. This bitch smells like pee. No, Liz and I are roommates. She had to move into my place after the big bad wolf blew down her straw house.
Wait, what did he say? All I could hear was... Okay, pig.
Oh, we're both pigs.
Yeah, we're both pigs now. Hey, Colton, you look like a naked mole rat that would wear a shirt in the pool. Naked mole, fat ass bitch.
Wow. Guys, give it up for Liz. Liz dates a lot of black guys. Liz dates so many black guys, her legal last name is Da Comedian.
That's a really good joke.
She keeps a sweat rag by the nightstand.
This motherfucker crazy. Hey, this motherfucker on right now. Okay, shut up, Adam. We're doing a thing.
I think you meant to say, why they both black?
Listen, Colton used to work at Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah, as the Buffalo. Just kidding, you look like a raw chicken wing for real. Why you look like that?
I don't get enough sun. Yeah, Liz likes to call herself a POG, P-A-W-G. What's that stand for? Pretty awful white gash?
Why? I didn't really fancy that one. That one was a little personal. You know about my gash.
Connection.
We're roommates, for God's sakes. You know about my gash. All right, listen. Colton is a fan of the Cowboys, which makes sense because you look like a boy to turn into a cow.
Liz, you're the type of bitch that played linebacker in middle school.
The mic.
Dude, Liz dates a lot of black guys. Liz dates so many black guys, her vibrator doesn't believe in eating pussy.
Damn.
Hey man, I don't like that one. What's this man on right now? I thought we were fucking friends. I'm starting to question if we're fucking friends at all. So is this our last one?
I mean, you guys are past the limit, but you guys go as long as you want. You guys can fucking kill it. Do as much as you want. You guys have fun. You guys go till you want to stop.
I went first, I'm done.
Okay, Colton's girlfriend is a teacher. Man, how about somebody teach that bitch some self-respect?
The number 4 battle of the week, Austin, Texas, Colton Jones, Liz Splat. Brian Moses, thoughts?
A lot of fun. Roommate battles are always the best. I think that's Liz and Colton's first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember somebody asking if Liz could come do a set in Los Angeles, and I said, well, we reserved those stand-up spots before the roast battle show in Los Angeles for roast battlers. It's an incentive for roast battlers to do more roast battles so they can do their stand-up, and that's why we do that. Anyway, Liz, you're always welcome now because now you've done a roast battle. But outside of that, I just might think about the Austin comics when they start doing the blackface voice. What year is that? What era are we coming from? I swear, I feel like white kids who come to the buzzword capital, which is Austin, they have this premonition of black people from the 70s and 80s and movies their parents allowed them to watch. Black people don't act like that anymore. Ever since 2000, I don't know any black person that doesn't eat pussy. I don't know any black person that talks like this. The funniest thing and the most true thing about black comedians is, yes, they still do use duh. We got Da Herm.
That was really good.
There's Cat in the Hat, who's now Cat Williams, right? So I get that. And the sweat rag is very funny.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones. Everybody
Earthquake.
we all use a sweat rag. I'm sweating right now. I'm surprised I don't have mine. But that was very funny, Colton. Outside of that, though, it was a fun battle.
Sure.
But as far as some of the blackface of it all and seeing Lemaire over there, he tours with Shane Gillis. I saw him going like, all right, I don't know what to say about this. Yeah. And I don't know what he said during the judges section, but I kind of saw his face like, I guess I have to deal with this. And that's what always happens. Like Tony Wellens, now Colton, and Liz. It's this whole thing of just like, we got to talk about fucking black people. And we got to fucking act like black people from the 70s. Like, no black person acts like that. Not even the guys you guys love and admire over there. Cam Patterson even talks like that. Where are you getting these black people from? Jay Legend, Cam Patterson, Ron Taylor, myself, Miles, the black comedian, all those guys who are over there, Andre, Ricks, all those guys don't talk like that. Why do you guys act like that? I don't even know. How is this the fourth battle when I'm literally on this podcast? I have to watch that nonsense. That was like watching 1970s blackface.
That's where I wanted you to go. It took you a while. You were
It
like,
took
well,
me a minute.
You started diplomatic. You were like, well, roommate battles are always fun, and I like the energy. And I'm like, just say the thing that I wanted you to say.
You're right. Yeah,
Thank you.
Fuck those people. Except Liz. I won't fuck Liz, but Colton, yeah. Good black jokes.
The comedian is great. There were a couple of funny ones. Those battles are always like so tough to rank because it's like obvious that they were having a great time. The chemistry was great. The crowd was outstanding, and there were a couple of like legitimately funny ones. And then there are the other ones where it's like, do you deduct points if you're doing a bad joke, but it's an intentionally bad joke?
I don't think. I think
like in other words, he's a fan of the Cowboys, which makes sense because he looks like he's a boy who turned into a cow. You write that and you're like, well, that's obviously a bad joke. But if I do it and I go like this and boy cow, it's like, is it now like, did I make it funny by acknowledging that it's not funny?
Yes.
But is that cheating?
No, because that's stand up.
Yeah.
That's live performance at the end of the day. It's just if you can make an inflection of some like a basic base level joke, but you do a funny accent or you do an inflection, or if I do like a British accent, right? If we do some British face, it's gonna make it funny. I mean, that's just what stand up is. It doesn't really matter what you're saying, it's how you're saying it.
Yeah.
So I'll give it to him on that. Also, Lil Wayne has a whole album about eating pussy. I don't know what's going on anymore with that. But what?
I mean, DJ Khaled didn't do you any favors.
He's not black.
He's partially, right?
No.
Really?
Not at all.
What is he? What is DJ Khaled's ethnic?
Palestinian.
He's 100% Palestinian? Oh, man.
You learn something new every podcast.
Yeah, how about that? I thought he was mixed. All right, 100% Palestinian. So, I would like to see going forward like more jokes about how Palestinians don't eat pussy. I think that's where it's 2024.
Well, they don't eat anything at this point. They're not getting any aid. They've been crushed by that war they're in. You're probably not getting demonetized in this one.
Yeah, this one is a wash. Let's just keep it moving and watch some battles then, and just say whatever the fuck we want. Yeah, once you cross the Palestinians have no aid, so they can't eat pussy line, it's a wrap on the podcast. Let's move to New York for the number 3 battle this week, and we'll stick with the theme. We got a couple of refugees in this battle.
Hey!
This is a fun one. This is one of the bigger stars of last season. Irina Chelidze came down to the mothership, had a great battle with JP Puthenveedle, going up against a guy who made a really big impact a few weeks ago by beating Dan Wicks and landing on the countdown. He's going to be coming out to LA to battle in about a month, but here he is battling against Irina. His name is Ilia Laxon. It's Ilia versus Irina. It's number 3 this week. Here it is.
All right, everyone, keep it going for my grandpa. Ilia looks like the Russian sex trafficker from Taken. If he was taking donuts from the break room, am I right? You fat fuck. You fucking...
Is he fat?
We don't have a break room. We're busy trafficking people. It's interesting that you mentioned that. Irina and I were both born in Eastern Europe, and we came to the U.S. as immigrants. And the only difference is actually that I didn't come over trafficked in a shipping container.
Yeah, you were doing the trafficking. All right.
That's fair.
Thank you, Geppettophile. Look, it's an honor to be here roasting a Jewish hobbit. You look like you run a pawn shop in the Shire. Destroy the ring. It was my grandmother's.
Irina's also Jewish, so it's just kind of self-hate there. Growing up, Irina was really insecure because she had like a mustache and like a unibrow. But then she grew up, and all the boyfriends she ever had cheated on her, so it wasn't the eyebrows.
It was my personality.
Yeah, they got it.
Ilia's actually famous for being the rabbi that invented kissing the baby's penis during the Brit.
You don't kiss it, you suck the blood. Thank you for taking time away from pissing on Donald Trump in a Moscow hotel room. Irina, she has a history of, staying too long in bad relationships. Wow, a Russian who doesn't know when to leave a volatile situation.
Classic. Okay. Ilia grew up poor in Russia, which was really tough. He actually got circumcised in high school. Yeah. Because his science class didn't have enough frogs for everyone that day.
God, that's a good joke. Yeah. That's a good joke.
That's true. I did get circumcised in high school, and you had the unibrow. We both realized that trimming helps a lot. You guys might recognize Irina's face from every documentary about women who regret doing porn. But she was actually also recently, she was on an episode of the CBS show Elsbeth. Are we all big fans of Elsbeth, the CBS show? It's a show that's currently on television on CBS, the major network. Well, if you guys don't know, I didn't watch the episode, but I read the episode synopsis. She played a woman named Irina whose boyfriend couldn't get hard for her, so she secretly dosed him with erectile dysfunction medicine. Wow, a woman named Irina whose boyfriend couldn't get hard for you. How'd you get that role? Did you just walk in a frame and they just kept it?
Last joke.
Thank you. I'm an actor. I'm actually so starstruck to meet Ilia because I never thought I'd meet a goblin from Gringotts. Sorry, here's my last joke. All right. Ilia's married. Yeah. His wife's name is Polly. As in Polly's sucking some guy's dick right now, am I right? Fuck this guy, dude. You suck, bro.
I don't know if you guys could tell, but only one of us was booked because of our talent. No. Look, that's hacky. Irina is not your average female comedian. She's a below average female comedian.
That's so good.
One time, Irina had a seizure on the way to a date, which is pretty funny because usually when she's on the ground with white stuff in her mouth, it's at the end of a date.
Number 3 battle this week: Ilia Laxon, Irina Chelidze. That was really fun.
To cleanse the palate, you always go to New York. You can always count on New York to give you well-written battles, dark stuff, that rap battle energy that we kind of like, right? Where they're competing and they're just like, well, you're about to lose, kind of thing, almost like, predicting the outcome. Man, as a debut, Ilia, congratulations, man. That was amazing. Irina's obviously great because she's been on the podcast before. We saw her in the Mothership last year. She's amazing. And just that back and forth that they had, they may not have been friends, but honestly, it kind of felt like they were at one point.
Yeah.
So it was fun to see two Russian immigrants get after each other like it wasn't Ukraine versus Russia.
There were a few things that jumped out at me about that battle. Number one, after the last battle, as you called it, blackface, Irina was doing like this Italian face sometimes. She just put on this like, yeah, Polly sucking some guy's dick right now. Yeah, eating donuts out the break room. I think it was supposed to be Italian. I don't know.
I think it's like an old, it's like an old comic thing, like a hacky comic thing. Like, yeah, come on, all right, come on.
But it worked. I loved Ilia managed to do something that I feel like it was just last week, if not the week before, where we talked about that never works. The fact checking of the jokes. He does it in a very, very, very funny way where, like, the opening joke about the sex trafficking, like the break room, he's like, we don't have time for breaks, we're busy sex trafficking. Or like when she said kissing the baby's penis, and he's like, you don't kiss it, you suck the blood out.
Suck the blood out of it.
The way he fact checked her jokes in the most unserious manner, I thought was really funny. There were a couple of what I loved, a couple references where I'm like, I can't believe I've never heard that before. Gepedophile, I've never heard.
I feel like it's an old like playground joke.
It's gotta be.
I haven't heard in Roast Battle, but it's definitely like a Del Taco.
Okay.
Gepedophile kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those that's like so right there that I'm like, how have I never heard that? And maybe someone has you. It's the first time I've heard it. And then when he said, Irina is not your average female comedian, she's a below average female comedian. I mean, that's outstanding.
That's so good.
Her joke about the circumcisions, they were out of frogs that day.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
That deserves so much more. I just love New York because they always go below the surface with things. I never know what they're going to say. If they do something hacky, they're making fun of themselves. They're being self-deprecating about it like she was. Even Ilia, like you're saying, with his that style of fact-checking, but it's just like non-serious fact-checking. Yeah. Right? You don't get that out of the other regions like you do in New York.
And he did another thing when he was like, imagine you're battling somebody and they literally were on a TV show on CBS and you managed to demean it to be like, oh yeah, that shit's so lame. And it's like a legitimate TV like acting role. But the way he was like, are we all big fans of Elsbeth? It reminded me of when I battled Isaac Hirsch, who, by the way, I don't know if you're keeping up with
Jeopardy.
this. 3-day Jeopardy champion now.
That's insane.
I roast battled a 3-day and running Jeopardy champion.
A genius.
He's up to 70 grand. The guy is brilliant.
He's going to gamble it all the way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see. It's going to be a mess. But Isaac Hirsch, when I battled him years ago, he had a joke about a sports podcast I did. And he was like, Pat's podcast, you guys all listen to Pat's podcast. And like just the little aside to the crowd, I fell out laughing on stage. It was like the funniest thing you could do to just acknowledge like nobody's listening to that shit. It was great.
Guys, go back, by the way. Jeff and Pat talk sports. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Is it still out there?
Pat and Jeff like sports.
Oh, my bad.
And we haven't recorded an episode in about a month. I've been busy, but yeah, there's archives. Go check them out. Pat and Jeff like sports. It's genuinely a very good podcast.
It's good.
But yeah, just the way you kind of brush off, in this case, being on a major network television show. Like, yeah, nobody in here has ever seen that shit.
Oh, just
so good. And also, shout out to New York for installing a guy in the crowd with a noisemaker. I don't know if you picked up on that. Do you hear the guy doing the cowbell between every joke?
Really? That's what that was?
Yeah. It's like, in Brazil, like soccer, they have the vuvuzelas. Yeah. They're like, I don't know, just hit this fucking thing when a joke is good. So really entertaining battle. New York continues to just climb, and they were leading the entire league coming into today. They have the number 3 battle. They pick up 5 points for that, and they are not done because now we go to the number 2 battle, and it is LA versus New York. This happened a few weeks ago here in LA. Kiki Anderson from Los Angeles going up against one of your preseason MVP favorites. And frankly, perhaps an all-star snub. We're going to talk about that in a minute. It's Malia Simon from New York. It's out here in LA. It is in the Belly Room, and it's the number 2 battle this week. Here it is.
Malia, Kiki, let's roll!
All right. This is fun. It's fun to be roasting that one worker at PacSun who thinks she's too good for the job. You see it? She got resting retail face. Thank you, you fiery queef. Malia, she's a flat-chested ginger. You might have seen her in Harry Potter. She's the brick wall they all run through. She's a real 6 3/4.
Damn.
Kiki, if you're here, who's living vicariously through a teenage niece?
Come on, man.
Doesn't she? You seem like you go up to people in their 20s in bars and just go, enjoy it.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious because I can't tell how fucking old you are. Are you old? Are you young? You look like Ginger Spice fucked Old Spice and made a midlife Christ Spice.
You look like you got charged with molesting your uncle.
Other way around. This is good. It's good to be roasting me if my dad was even less present. It's true. Kiki says she's bisexual, or in other words, straight with a personality disorder.
Thank you, hippie cum stalking. Malia told me she's an avid runner. Yeah, bitch, you look like a hamster.
He really does that.
When she's not running on her wheel, she's doing Kia Soul commercials. I'm just kidding. Gingers don't have souls.
It's true. We're both runners. I ran track in high school, and Kiki's in a race against time to cash in on OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
Whatever. She's like an Amber Alert. No one cares. Malia, well, she's never had a boyfriend, and she grew up on a chicken farm. It's the last time she had a stable cock. Yeah, that pussy's really foul.
Kiki's told me she grew up on hip hop and rap, and she grew up in the 90s, so, guys, she's definitely said it. Just saying.
Malia works with autistic kids. Yeah, Malia's proof that autism is sexually transmitted. She doesn't have chlamydia. She has the slow clap. She really puts the rapist and therapist. She doesn't do booty calls, but she loves Asperger's. She really takes the virgin out of neurodivergence. All right.
What a great, fun battle. It was great in the room. It was great on tape. Great matchmaking. They really, worked well together. Just really great stuff all around.
Economy of words. I think that could be a theme going forward. But Malia Simon, and just the succinct way she just can dissect somebody.
There's not a wasted syllable in there.
At all. I mean, if that was anybody else, I feel like Kiki would have destroyed.
Yeah.
Because Kiki was in her bag with the writing, right? I mean, it was combo central with Kiki. Even Pippi Cumstalking as an aside, I thought was underrated and nobody really got it because she was talking so fast. But Pippi Cumstalking with that redhead who looks like Pippi Longstocking, I thought that was pretty good too. But I think everything that Kiki said deserved what it got and probably a little more because she was in her bag with the writing.
Yeah.
But Malia Simon, man, that's the velvet buzzsaw.
Bro, I mean, yeah, for Kiki, great return battle. The one before that, I knew she was unhappy with her performance. I know she was really proud of this one, and she should be. I mean, she was great. The Harry Potter, 2 battles in a row, it was Lord of the Rings and then Harry Potter. I don't understand any of those references, but I'm sure based on the crowd reaction, I'm sure she looks like a wall that people run through. But the 1, 2, 3 combo on the Kia Soul hamster run, and one of those things where it's like, I will never be able to look at Malia and not see a hamster now.
Right. She does look like that Kia Soul hamster, yes.
But Malia's fucking rebuttal, the race against time to cash in on OnlyFans, living vicariously through your niece, walking up to people in bars in their 20s and saying, enjoy it. Yeah, and then the closer about like the grew up on hip hop in the 90s. Like, I love jokes that don't follow a traditional joke cadence, and that definitely did not. Like, to just let the audience form the punchline essentially in their own head.
Huge risk.
Yeah.
Huge risk because what if they didn't get it?
Right.
Like, what word do you mean?
Yeah.
And then I just come on stage and be like, she means the N-word, everybody.
Well, there was a brief delay there, and like I was laughing too hard. I missed it this time, but when I watched it back, so we're judging, and our mics are live, right? And I try to turn my mic away from me because I've noticed that when it points towards me, my laugh is louder sometimes than the crowd, and I hate that. But there is a moment she drops that joke, and I got it instantly, and the crowd was a half a second behind, so the first thing you hear is just my dumbass like, before everyone else catches on. But no, I absolutely love that. Malia Simon now, okay, so she's 3-1 on the season. She is now at 16 RBL points.
Damn.
We said Dakota Fry had 16. She moves into a tie with Dakota for 5th in the league. New York ended up having 2 All-Stars. One was Andrew Manning, clearly, in my opinion, number 1 in New York right now. And then number 2, it was going to be either Eric Asker or Malia Simon. Eric barely edged it out. If this battle had dropped 2 weeks ago, it might be a completely different conversation. Malia might be going to the mothership. As it stands, pretty good consolation prize. She's going to be battling John Ajota for the New York City Championship.
Oh, wow.
In, I believe, a week.
Okay.
So, New York, and we're going to talk about this more in a minute, they are going hard. They are not taking their foot off the gas at all. They sent me their lineup of battles coming up. Like, they want to win this thing, and Malia could be the best battler in that city. The second half is going to be big for her. But I just got to shout her out because she did not make the All-Star team, but boy, could she have. You know?
Yeah, as Montreal has let me down. As I did say that they'd be a sleeper this year, but they're not. They're definitely sleeping. But Malia Simon, you've done me proud. You've done me right this year. Thank you so much. But outside of that, you're just a great battler, a great writer, a great performer. And yeah, you got snubbed. But as a point leader, like number 5 in points for scoring champion, that's huge this season. So second half is all about you, I believe. And you're going against John Ajota, who's a classic buzzsaw versus I'm calling you the velvet buzzsaw. So I can't wait to see that on the countdown.
That battle's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. So, but as far as Malia and Eric, Eric did beat her head to head, but I feel like Malia's strength of schedule might be better and bigger than Eric's and Andrew's.
It's very possible. Very possible.
Because she battled Dave Sheehan, right?
She battled Dave Sheehan. She came out here. She battled Kiki on the road. Picked up a win there. Yeah, I mean, she only battles the best, and she wins a lot more than she loses. Yeah. And her versus Ajota is one of those battles that I never knew that I really wanted to see it until I saw it on paper, and I was like, oh,
I gotta see that.
Yeah.
I mean, they just have so many stars over there. So many battlers I can name, right? Like your Irina's, your Josh's, who's her boyfriend. I don't know if they're still dating, but then you got Ilia, you got John Ajota, Malia Simon, Eric Asker, Andrew Manning, Dave Sheehan, Wicks. I mean, the list goes on.
Pontillo. The talent pool is
Gabby
like
Jordan
crazy
Brown,
over there. Yeah, Gabby. She came out here to LA. She killed it too. Ilia, who we just saw in the last battle, like he's great too. Now they're getting Chris Crespo back. I was talking to Chris Grieco about this from Chicago, and I was like, man, New York is having a hell of a season. He's like, yeah, how does the city with access to the best comics on earth keep doing it? I'm like, yeah, that's got to suck if you're Chicago, but they are fighting tooth and nail with New York. They're not going down without a fight. And speaking of which, let's just jump into the number 1 battle. It comes to us from Chicago. What a crazy battle we have. The West is 4 cities deep. The East is not, but boy, are those 2 cities. Is this Ali versus Frazier, or this is Tyson versus Foreman. This is a heavyweight fight. New York and Chicago. They keep going at it. This week is no different. Chicago takes the number 1 battle this week with a guy who I think is now going to be on the Rookie of the Year radar.
Whoa.
Because this is his second battle, 2-0 now. And they were number 2 on the countdown and now number 1. So 13 points in his first 2 career RBL battles.
Wow.
His name is Zach Albers, and he has a crazy one here against the 2024 debuting Harold Patrick. Zach Albers, Harold Patrick, number 1. Here it is.
When I look at Zach, I see an older brother, And I know that when he looks at me, he sees a younger sister. And that's because he's tried to fuck me on several occasions.
This little Home Alone looking ass motherfucker, man. I swear to God, when I walked up on stage, I was worried I was gonna get hit with a paint can. Nah, but shit, y'all give it up for him though, man.
The fact that he even made it here, even though it's a school night.
That's how you black sense.
That is true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, shit, man. The fact you made it here without getting a DUI is also pretty... it's also pretty insane.
Let's go. First of all, the bus drove me. I don't...
You know, Zach's from the South, right? So you might think he's a little bit racist. But he's not exactly racist, because one time I seen him learn Spanish just to tell a Puerto Rican that he doesn't like them.
See, it goes joke, then you, then back to joke. So...
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something that Harold told me in the green room. He goes, hey, Zach, you want to see something cool? And then he opened up his wallet and showed me a condom.
That's so good.
It's so stupid, I love it.
Now it's back to you.
All right. I was just making sure. Thank you. You know, people say I look like a twink, and I get it. It's all right. But Zach, he looks like a SoundCloud rapper named T-Wink. He had to get married just to remind himself he's not gay. All right.
Honestly, it don't really matter if I destroy Harold tonight, because he's still on his parents' insurance.
That is true. Speaking of, I've been meaning to reach you about your car's extended warranty. That was stupid. All right. So Zach, you see that nice gold chain on it? Zach said he started wearing that chain about 2 years ago, and it changed his life. But you know whose else life changed? Is that 12-year-old he stole that chain off of.
It was you. First of all, whenever I roast somebody, I like to look them in the eye. So Harold, please come over here for a second, man.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, shit. He's a big man. And since you're here, who the hell is calling Chinese people the N-word on Xbox Live right now?
That's
my boy. Don't worry, I got a substitute at home. Don't worry, I know who to trust. You know, Zach, I've never seen someone look like the Lorax and the tree at the same time. Like, what are you gonna do? Speak for yourself? That's your wife's job.
I honestly had no idea what that joke meant. Now, y'all have to realize Harold don't make no money doing stand-up comedy.
I am, bitch. Sorry, God.
This is matter of fact, tomorrow's gonna be the first time you walk into Chase Bank without wanting a free sucker. Zany's agreed to have him here because he said that they could pay him in baseball cards.
You ain't getting none. I mean, if I can... Zach's not exactly a white trash. He's more like a white recyclable. He wasn't raised in a trailer park. He was just raised in a park. Coincidentally, the park was named after his great-grandfather, Robert E. Lee Park.
That man done a lot of good things. Now, we all know that child porn is a problem. We know it's a problem. But Harold got his house raided by the FBI for displaying shirtless pictures of himself.
Last joke.
You're not gonna hand that one off? I mean, this guy looks like he could use it. I mean,
hey, who needed it?
Red shirt guy.
Dude, hell yeah, bro. Bro, I just got you laid tonight.
All right. Zach told me one time that if he dies, he wants to die of cancer.
That is true.
And if he does get cancer, I hope it's brain cancer. And to be honest, I don't think anybody would notice. But I don't know. It might be the cheat code to make it talk faster. Who knows? You know. But if he does get brain cancer, he'll finally have something up there other than slurs. I should have ended.
No. Sit down on Papa's knee right now.
This is psychotic, man.
No.
Now y'all give it up for the homie Harold right now, man. Now this is his first time ever performing at Zany's. And he has now been booked the same amount of times this year as Justin Timberlake.
All right, give it up for them, everybody. Oh my God.
All right. There it is. Number one, Chicago, Zach Albers, Harold Patrick, Brian Moses. What did we just watch?
You know, I said this during the while I was playing, but that's how you do a black accent.
Yeah.
Austin. He wasn't even trying. It's just he's from the South. He's from a region where there's probably a lot of black people, and he just kind of sounds like if you didn't know who he was on the phone, you wouldn't know, right? You wouldn't know if he's a white guy, an Italian guy, a black guy maybe, but that probably leaned more for American black accent. And then he said the Robert
with a hint of mentally disabled in there.
Right. That's kind of how black people say. Probably gotta cut that. But I'll say this. I thought he was a wigger until we heard the Robert E. Lee, and he said he's done a lot of good things. I was like, oh, Zach's not a wigger at all. He's just actually from the South and sounds like that. Yeah. And when he said slur, I thought Harold meant his speech, not actual racial slurs.
I think it works on many levels. I think that joke worked on several levels.
It's a spectrum.
It is a spectrum. This was psychotic.
It was psychotic.
This was insane the whole way through.
For the number one battle, that was wild.
And it was one that, it's similar to Austin. A lot of the feedback I got was I have no idea where this goes. I had so much fun watching it, but it was not the strongest joke writing. It was full of, weird gimmicks. The getting down on off the stage and look me in my eye, and then credit to Harold for going along with everything. He knows he's there to put on a show. If I ever had an opponent be sit on my lap, I think I would be no, what the we're not doing that.
Yeah, that was some impressive yes-anding, Harold. I'd have been
very.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Sit on your lap.
And then the joke, the Timberlake joke was terrible. The juice was not worth the squeeze on that at all, but the squeeze was fun. The handing of the note cards to the audience, and then Harold, they do the whole thing where he's like, "You're not going to hand that one? That guy looks like he could use it." He gives it to him. Oh my God, it was just they were so fun up there.
If Subas is Bay Area digits,
oh boy,
then Zach has got to be Chicago digits.
I thought Fujiko was Chicago digits.
Right. I don't know, man. Zach and Fujiko, I guess, yeah, because Zach has this digits-like ability about him, right, where he can just say and do anything, because he did and said anything,
yes,
for the most part.
Yes.
His theme was bullying Harold and making him feel like he was sunning him the whole time, and then at the end, he actually suns him and says, "Come sit on Papa's lap." So I like the theme. There was a theme, and he stuck with the through line. Zach was really good there. But outside of all that, I thought Harold had the better jokes.
Yeah.
I understand Zach won because Zach's performance was probably better.
Right.
But man, he's got this character element to him where, like I said, the Wigger thing, I'm like, it's kind of like Digits in the sense of it's a character.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it's going to go, and it's fun. And people just seem to go with it. Doesn't matter what he's saying.
Someone on the ranking committee also called Liz Splat female Nate Welch.
Oh man,
which I'm not totally sure I agree, but I get where they're coming from.
Because she was playing with puns and wordplay, I think, for a little bit in the beginning. So I get that, but she's definitely, I wouldn't put her there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of characters this week, though.
I mean, the sandwiching of the top four battles was funny to me. Like those two battles in the middle, the New York and the LA, were probably better written and better performed, I thought, just watching back.
Yeah.
And then the fourth and the number one battle were very black scent heavy, I guess we're calling that.
Yeah.
So it was fun, but yeah, I thought those 2 and 3 were probably a little stronger joke wise, but the performances in 1 and 4 probably warranted them their spots.
Yeah, I just know, and sometimes it's the monotony of watching 12 to 15 battles. Sometimes you get one that's just so fun in the middle of it as your eyes are starting to bleed because you just watched a 48-minute Scotland battle or whatever, and you're just like, Jesus Christ. You're Atlanta, they have boxes on the faces, and you're like, what am I doing with my life? And then a battle comes along, and it's just so fun that you're like, oh, that's number one. And then you watch it a second time, and you're like, I'm not sure they had that many jokes in there. But it doesn't matter. It was just fun. That's the objective here. You know, you make the crowd laugh. The crowd laughed a lot. The ranking committee laughed a lot, and it came in number one. And Chicago, with their second number one in 3 weeks, and it does not make a difference. As we look at the standings right now, Chicago picks up 7 points for a number one. New York gets the number 3 plus featured in the number 2, which is worth 8 points. Chicago gets a number 1 and loses a point in the race.
Damn.
These guys both are going to have their feet on the gas the rest of the season. New York is scheduling crazy battles for New York. Chicago is sending the migrant caravan up to Cleveland and Toronto, and like they're just shipping their people out. Where they have to go fight battles on enemy territory to get points in the Roast Battle League, and I think that's what they're going to do. It is going to be an all-out war between those two cities the rest of the way. I can't wait to see it.
I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now, the other points, and this is crazy. Chicago has to get like number ones and you know, at least like splitting points to number 3s just the rest of the season just to catch up to these guys. New York is wow.
And the problem is that New York is so consistent. 18 weeks now, they've been on the list 17 times.
Wow.
They missed 1 week.
Did not know that.
1 week.
Good job, you guys.
So it's like if you're battling against a city that's, you know, kind of hit or miss, you could have a week where you're first and then they're not on there. You pick up 7 points. That doesn't happen. Even if you come in first, New York's probably going to be third or fourth at worst. So you're just like you're trying to make up for lost time, and that's why it's like you gotta get moving now. This is not a thing that you can make up in October.
I mean, we only take the top 4, right? We don't take the top 8.
No, dude, I wish. I wish.
That wild card looks like it's going to have to come in season 3. Because
yeah, we got to do it, especially when you look at our international standings in a minute, because the last few weeks have been dominated by America. Like, we've been seeing very little international, battles make the top 7.
It's the 4th of July.
Yeah,
we're coming hard.
Exactly. Yeah, it's our birthday. Fuck off. LA maintains their lead in the West. New York extends their lead on LA for the number 1 overall seed. As you can see in the West, it's absolutely crazy. Denver slips back to 4th.
Wow.
Despite landing on the countdown and with 40.5 points, which, let's cut over to the international side now, would of course be first in the international East. Last in the American West, would be first in the international East. The only city that moves at all this week, London, picks up the 1 point. That's it. That's it. Other than that, everything kind of stays. I'll tell you, for the first maybe 14, 15 weeks, it looked pretty equal. America, international. These last few weeks, America has just pulled way ahead.
Yeah, I like that London got their point. I mean, they're still in striking distance, and especially with the way things are kind of shaking out. London can usually be pretty formidable with the powerhouses of America. But man, London, I think that knockout tournament is really gonna have to put you guys back up there because nobody's looking at you guys right now. Scotland, obviously, you guys have your marathon battles and you guys are dominating the international West. But that East, man, I mean, for the most part, Austin or Denver can come in there and just be the guys.
Yeah.
Manchester, Tokyo, London, obviously Australia, nothing this week except for London got 1 point.
And part of it has to do with, look, I mean, there's more opportunities to get battles in America. These shows are all running weekly or bi-weekly. A lot of our international ones run monthly, and, you know, they're trying to get as much blood from the stone as possible, and I think that they've done a good job. I will say this, London being 16 points back, they feel a lot closer than Chicago does being 16 points back. This is what I'm saying. Chicago, you're like, we got to be number 1 every week because New York's always going to be 3 or 4. If you're London, you're looking at Manchester and Tokyo, like, oh, they'll go weeks at a time without making the list.
You need 2 number 1s or like 2 number 2s.
We could have three good weeks and we're back in this thing. Chicago, it's kind of like it's a different story. But man, it is, things have grinded to a halt internationally these last few weeks. I'm excited for that London knockout tournament. I'm excited for the next Scotland show just to see if we can, if those guys can get back in it. Oh, and by the way, footnote. So the 8 through 10 battles are on Patreon. Yes. 8 this week is Barcelona, 9 is Toronto, 10 is Australia. So if you want to watch some of the international battles, and like I said, it was a really good week. So 8, 9, and 10 are really good this week too. You can check those out on the Patreon if you're the main event tier or above. But New York came inches from making history. They almost had 3 different battles in the top 7.
Oh, that'd have been dope.
Mika Mo from New York went out to Barcelona and battled Darren Cullen over there, and it came in 8th.
Ooh.
If that had gotten a couple more votes and beat out London, New York would have gotten points from not 1, not 2, but 3 different battles.
That's insane. Internationally, too. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yo, Mika Mo, wow. Yeah, that's another name from New York, you know what I mean? That's just out there, too. Priya Blunts. There's so many good battlers.
I don't even think we mentioned Divya.
Divya. Oh, my God. Yeah. You mentioned Divya. You got Sarah Barnett over there. You've got...
Sarah's great.
God, who else is good over there? Everybody.
I mean, we've only named like 30 people. Yeah.
Derek Humphrey. You got, who's Big Pics, Big Tits? Who's that on Instagram?
Oh, Big T. Yeah, he's coming out here. Tommy Farrell.
Yeah, dude.
He's a character. Yeah,
But Mika Mo battling Darren, because Darren's there, is Barcelona's champion, right?
Yes.
Oh, that must have been a good battle.
It was a lot of fun. I'll say this. And I was actually talking to Darren about that. I reached out to Barcelona. I was like, please let Darren know. I just watched this battle. The crowd very much was not on board with any of his racial humor. And he had a couple of good ones, too. But I think it was the idea of a black American woman coming over. It was on the 4th of July, literally. And he was just like, I'm just going for it. I got this fire Rosa Parks joke. Why would I not say it? And the crowd was just immediately like, oh, dear, no, we can't support that. But I hit him up to be like, yo, solidarity. I'm with you, man. It was a good joke. Not solidarity as a racist, just as a joke writer, you know? Like...
Yeah, fuck Rosa Parks.
Overrated, all I'm saying.
Oh, my God.
No, shout out Rosa Parks. Yeah, I think that's a good note to get out on. Is that the episode title? Shout out Rosa Parks?
Shout out Rosa Parks. Yes. That's it.
All right, bye, everybody.